Hi teacher, this is my speaking project is about the tetanus vaccine. Af- Before I will talking about that what is the vaccine. The vaccine is a substance that had the many components or chemics when it's artificial vaccine. When it's the vaccine that can produce passive immunology is obtained that the microorganisms died. Okay, the history about the tetanus vaccines is very short. That in the timeline appears different scientists that can produce different vaccines with the passive immunology or the artificial immunology or was isolated by injecting to the other in from the animals or from the humans. Okay, do you listen um, this information? Okay, the first vaccine for passive immunology was discovered by a group of German scientists under the leadership was a important person that from Germany is Emil von Behring in 1890. Then these scientists appears Carl and Rayton in 1884, who first produced tetanus in animals by injecting them with pus from a fatal human tetanus case. During the same year, um, appears other scientists. Is Nicolaier produced tetanus in animals by injecting them with samples of soil. Yep. Then appear other scientists that his name is very known in recently is Kitazato. Kitazato in 1889 isolated the organisms from a human victim that showed that it produced disease when injected into animals and report that the toxin could be neutralized by specific antibiotics. It's a little information about the history, but the characteristics of the history that you can remember from the timeline is when appears in the First World War. Okay, um, in the early 20s appears Raymond. Raymond um, developed of the Tetanus toxoid by discovered in 1924. This is a history about the tetanus vaccine. Now I will talking about the disease. The disease tetanus is an acute infectious disease caused by the spores. The spores is a particulars that travel through the earth and can produce and can introduce in the body for the air system or through the wound when you cut your skin, when you cut any part of your body. These spores of the bacterium in specific is called Clostridium tetanic. Spores are found anywhere in the environment, particularly in the soil, access, intestines, and feces of the animals and humans, and on the surface of the skin. When I'm talking about before this information, and rusty tools such nails, needles, barber wire, etc. The spores that travel through the air are very resistant to heat and most antiseptics and can survive for years. Um, The other information is very characteristic that um, is, is, is many characteristic of this infection. Tetanus can be contracted by anyone, but the disease is particularly common and severe in the newborns and pregnant women who have not been sufficiently immunized with BCTT. The BCTT is a square of immunization that you can do it through the life. Yep. Tetanus during pregnancy or within in 6 weeks after the end of pregnancy is called maternal tetanus. And tetanus in the first 28 days of the life after born is called neonatal tetanus. Is many characteristic of these of these patients, but you now know the different symptoms when you have the tetanus in your body. You need now that what is the produce when you have the any bacterial in your body, but you have the microbiota humana human that is common in your body when you born. In this case, the symptoms appears the incubation period for tetanus varies from 3 to 21 days after infection. Most cases occur within 14 days. The symptoms varies in different metabolisms or varies of the different people because you don't have the same metabolisms that your sister, that your father, that your girlfriend. The symptoms is varied, but the common symptoms is may include jaw crowds or the inability to open your mouth, muscle spasms, often in back, often in the back, abdomen and extremities sudden. Painful muscle spasms often caused by sudden noises, difficult swallowing, seizures, headache, fever and sweating, and chasing blood pressure or acceleration or heart rate. In neonatal tetanus, it's very common that symptoms include muscle spasms, which are often produced by the newborns. Yep. Inability to suck or breastfeed, and excessive crying. In the babies, it's more common this disease because when you born don't have the same immune system that the other people, like adults, can produce the different immune system because you have a different relationship between the other microorganisms, like a bacteria, like a protist, like a rigs, like a fungi. Different microorganisms produce into into your body different immunization when you have the different antibodies that is called antibodies B, antibodies T that participate when you had an infection in your body. Okay, I will talking about the tetanus vaccine. That is the last information of this speaking project. The tetanus vaccine, uh, before speaks about this information, I will talking about the vaccines and where is the effective or not effective. The vaccines are available, available that can help prevent tetanus, an infection caused by Clostridium tetani bacteria. There are many. There are many different vaccines that can produce prevent to the tetanus for different microorganisms, but exist four kinds of vaccines so used today protect against tetanus, all of, all of which also protect against other disease. When you born acquire the diphtheria and tetanus vaccine, and the little short acronym is called the DT, and the other mixed vaccines is like a diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. These vaccines received the name of the DTAP. The other vaccine is tetanus and diphtheria, TD vaccines. And the last one is the tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis, TDAP. All vaccines produce different immunity in your immune system when appear different disease. The people also uh, also may make different questions, but the common question is who should get the tetanus vaccines? Okay, is the common information because I don't know that the person can acquire this vaccine for can produce allergies, um, can be produce vomit, I don't know. But the information of the NCBA is that the tetanus vaccination is recommended for people of all age. There are many different combination vaccines used to prevent tetanus in infants, young children, school-age children, and adults. You know that you can get this vaccine, don't have any problem. The other, the other question that is common in the people is that what are the side effects? Vaccines are very safe. It is much safer to get the vaccine than it is to get the tetanus, but can produce some different effects. Many people have no side effects from these vaccines, from the kind 4 vaccines. But vaccine, but for those that do, side effects are usually too mild and last 1 to 2 days. See a list the common side effects for each vaccine below. Serious side effects are very rare. Is that I comment after these systems is very important to stay in the clinic for 50 minutes after getting any vaccine because there is a very rare change between 1 and 100,000 and 1 in a million of a life-threatening allergy reactions called anaphylaxis. The anaphylaxis can produce different signs. This may include hips, difficult breathing, or swelling, or throat, or tongue, or lips. This is the last information. But I need that you know how much people diet for these microorganisms. And the NCB said that the people diet but by Clostridium tetani, up to 1 in 5 people who get tetanus maybe die. So I this is information about the vaccine, that how was create through the line of time, but I finish what with my experience. I know that I always speak about my experience in the army, but in this process I have the many experience about my life. So uh, someday when I cook the wood in forest, I could I cut myself. I cut myself. I cut my left when with any object that received the names like nobout. Nobout is like a knife or axe. When you when you don't clean this object, can be produced can be a reservoir for different microorganisms, including the tetanus produced by the Clostridium tetanic. I remember that the high-ranking person um, sent to me to the hospital. I remember that I was a nurse. I have an specialized of the clinic, the laboratory clinic. I remember that I was a phlebotomist, and um, this day the person the nurse that was stayed in this hospital applied this vaccine in my body. Um, I remember that I was very nervous, so I don't know the effects that the vaccine can produce in me. So after some years, I reading about this vaccine and this disease. So understood the different effects that can produce me in my body, but in this process don't produce me any effect. But I don't know the Clostridium tetani in the Catholic University. I know this I know these microorganisms because I incubate in one plate, I can show the the process between the hours and the bacteria grow in the culture is very amazing. I hope that you can have the opportunity someday in the university visit the laboratories of microbiology. The microbiology teacher in this moment her name is Karina Laura Karina Quintero. But you have if you have the opportunity someday. Okay, teacher. I hope that this information can produce in you any any information that can use to the future for you can have a baby. I don't know, or any family, any integrant of your family can contract this this disease. So bye bye.